Hello again. So, back in the Beaver. I am planning on staying right here. I'm not going anywhere. I am planning on practicing very thoroughly, or at least as thoroughly as I'm able to do. I'm pretty adept at landing this plane, but the last week or so I've been having trouble with my 3-point landings of the Beaver. So I intend to try to fix that today. The plan is to just go around the pattern here at Oakridge, where I landed earlier today with the PilotEdge group flight, and just try to see what's going on. I've had a tendency to come in for the 3-point and flare for that maybe a couple of feet higher up than I should be, so I slam into the ground. Because of the slow speed I managed to get to, I'm able to make fully acceptable landings of it, but the rough touchdown is something I'll try to see if I can at least control. So that's my plan. I'm also gonna try to practice wheel landings, where I'm not landing all three. Why am I showing you with my hand when I can show you with the Beaver? It's right here. So this beautiful plane is now sitting in a 3-point attitude. Just give me a second here. Hello, CG. Yeah, I'm kind of going somewhere, but at the same time I'm going nowhere. I'm staying right here. I'm going to practice in the pattern for a while, and I was just about to start to explain what I'm intending to do. So this plane is sitting in a 3-point attitude, and this is probably good for you to think about as well, because you're flying lots of Taildraggers. The Taildraggers are fantastically interesting in that the center of gravity is somewhere around here, behind the main wheels. That means that when you're landing, when the force of the plane is going forward, that mass, which is behind the wheels, want to be on the other side. So that the plane is kind of inherently unstable. So you have to counteract that with the tail wheel and or the rudders and the ailerons, which I'll get back to. Another thing is that when you're landing, if you're landing on the main wheels and with the tail up, the force of the landing will naturally force the tail slightly down, which will force the nose up and the wings to start generate a little bit more lift. So combined with the compression of the wheels and the whatever dampening there is on the plane, that conspires to give the plane a bounce. So that's one of the bad things about the wheel landing, is that if you're not able to keep the tail up when you're landing on the main wheels, as in pushing forward slightly, which is kind of counterintuitive, then your tail will come down and your nose will come up and you will bounce. And I know that I do that mistake when I land on the main wheels, so that's why I try to 3-point it all the time. Hello, Delta. welcome. I'm just gonna fool around in the pattern, as I said. So I'm just trying to explain to whoever's watching and also to myself, so I have some kind of briefing of what I'm going to train on. So I'm going to try to find out why I land or flare too early in 3 point, so I smack the plane down. And also try to land on the main wheels. So the plane is naturally resting in the 3 point attitude. So this is where it's most happy to be. That's what it's designed to be at when it's on the ground. So if you can get it to a 3 point, that is fine. But if you cannot, there are some procedures, or techniques rather, to coax it down there. When you're landing in a 3 point attitude, like this, you have to, if you're slow enough, hopefully you are, then you can pull back the stick or the yoke to force the tail down, and the plane will stay on the ground, and you will have more control over the wheel, and you will have, in general, better ground handling. But if you're having to do or end up doing wheel landing, pulling back the stick will result in the tail coming down, nose coming up, and the plane starting to fly again. Which is basically, so you have to do the opposite. You have to either at least relax whatever back pressure you held to get it to rest the, or to flare the plane, to let it go back slightly, or even push forward a little bit to pin the main wheels on the ground and keeping the tail up until it's ready to relax back down when the speed of the plane drops when you're rolling down the runway. Another benefit of keeping the tail up is that it will be in the propeller, the prop wash. So if you're forcing or also in this slipstream, basically, the air coming past from here. If you look at where the wind will hit the wing here, look how this whole area behind here will be either blanking out the tail, or at least making some turbulence back here. If you keep the tail up, the tail will be above that line here, which will allow it to be free from any disturbance from the wing, from whatever is blocked or made turbulent by the wing. So this is another bonus, or basically a reason why wheel landing is possible at all. Because you will get the benefit of being able to control the tail better when it's up in the air. Until, of course, when the speed is slow enough for that to be, the effect to be negligible, because, as you know, it's like driving down the highway with a car, and, in high speed, holding your arm out the window and angling it. You can be able to fly it with just the airspeed. But once you slow down, you have to have a steep angle of attack, and at a certain point, your arm will drop. And it's the same for the rudder. When it's slow enough, it will at least have little or no effect, and it's better to have it down on the ground where you can have the tail wheel to steer it. And also at that point, your brakes will be much more handy to use, because if you're up on the main wheels and brake, we've all seen this where a plane will tip over on its nose. And many stall competition plane has tipped over for that reason, because they try to stop early and they brake, and the big fat Tundra tires are gripping the ground, and they stop, the plane continues, and it tips over. So I think the wheel landings are probably the things I'm going to practice a little bit more today, because they are useful when doing crosswind landings. Because you need to have a little bit more speed anyway, and the tail control is one of the things I'm lacking in the wheel landings. So I've been thinking about this quite a lot lately, and it's been bugging me a little bit that my landings are... I can control the plane and land safely, more or less, but it just feels a little bit... yeah, something weird is going on. So I'm going to try out that. Also, since I'm at beautiful Oakridge Airport here in Oregon, I have the benefit of going over to that mountain, which is called Aubrey Mountain, which houses another airfield in that valley here. That is the Aubrey Mountain airstrip. Beautiful place. So that's a good place to go practice, but I'm going to stay around here for a while. And I see CG is sitting on the ramp in his gorgeous, whatever this is, Navion. N-Avion. It's a very nice model, probably a very cool plane. I know he is in his Spitfire, so that's why it's slightly tilted back, but I don't have Spitfire CSL in X-Plane, apparently. Or if I do, it's not working correctly. I love the reflections in X-Plane, by the way. You can see that big green sign there, which is that one. Can I see the Beaver here as well? I cannot. It looks like it neglects to reflect moving objects, I guess. Seems like it's reflecting only the ground. Anyway, Thomas will be flying into here on this next leg for yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw that he's powering his way from Reading with some sort of turbine aircraft contraption. Is he flying a Kodiak as well? Yeah, and Delta Alpha 22 is downloading the Oregon Bushpack, so he's probably going to join us as well. Caravan, okay. Let's hope that you get PilotEdge to be working, because then we can be several people in the pattern. Anyway, so I've babbled enough. I'm gonna just do a quick walk around and get the plane ready and get patterning around. Seems like the weather is completely fine here. I'm still seethingly envious at the Explain 12 people who have the beautiful weather system. So I just have to live with whatever I got, which is good, but predictable and slightly boring. So I'm gonna take away my beautiful face, like so you can see the beautiful Beaver instead. Flaps. As you can see, I have this clever little pump system here, which simulates that thing. And this is the Thrustmaster Warthog throttle, which is split throttle. So I have one of them for the other lever here, next to this chair, which selects flaps down or flaps up. And it's actually incrementally changeable, but it doesn't have any function apart from down or up. It's kind of weird. So I'm popping the flaps down, looking at this gauge here, and they are indeed down. And that's what I do before I do my walk around. So you will be flying a Kodiak. So looks like we have Kodiaks and Caravans and Beavers and Spitfires. Lovely. And again, this deal here. Okay, I'm gonna move this down here because it always gets interrupted by the cam. All of that is at idle. It's the pre-flight sent me down here for the master switch, but I moved that up to the roof, so I only have the circuit breakers there, which are of course working. Oil is getting low. Could bring a Viper jet that keep it alive. Yeah. And the Viper jet has a fantastic CSL in X-Plane, so that's a good one to bring for to fly together with people. I saw Thomas flew a Viper jet into Medford a couple of days ago, and very, very nice looking model. Does the push plane go into the custom? Yeah, always custom. The global is off limits. Don't touch it. There should be a README in the Bushpack zip with some information about the libraries you need. I guess you probably already have most of them. Most X-Plane pilots have. But if you don't, there should be links as well, either in the README file or in the NOTAM, links to the actual libraries, which may or may not work, of course. The libraries will be very useful to make the sceneries look as good as they can. But they probably work without, but you will get a few error messages when you open it because you're lacking, for example, this barbecue here, or this little kid sitting at this chair, or whatever it is. Tie downs. Alright, that's all done. And, oh, it's heating up here. It's 20-something degrees, 25. What is that? 40, 30, 20... that is a kind of a weird setup, isn't it? Let me have a good close look at that gauge. So, if that's 20... okay, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20... what is that? What kind of increments is that? If this is 20, and there are 4 in between. 10 should be in between here. That doesn't make any sense. No, Jesus, I'm looking at the wrong place. That's 0. That's 10. That's 20. That's... wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, as you said. 26 is kind of thick for some reason. That's probably just a transcription error from this one here. 26, 28, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, 25. I agree. That thick line there just threw me off here. And I was looking at the top of the gauge as 0. But that's 0. Yeah. But the 80 should be thick, but the line going across shouldn't. It should be just as the other ones. Anyway, I'm kind of a gauge fetishist, which is why I have all these weird gauges like this one, which I created myself, and also the this triple gauge here is also my creation. I've kind of a interest for that. Anyway, flappage up. Now it's going to be interesting to see if the engine is still slightly warm from the group flight. I ended with it had cooled down somewhat, so it shouldn't. It should probably be at ambient temperatures, which we agreed it was 25. So that means that the oil should be right there when I start up the battery. So let's check. Yeah, just a shade above below. It's at 23 or 24 degrees. It's okay. So it has cooled down to ambient temperature. Right. Bacon on. And I'm actually starting to get low on fuel, so I have some limits to what I can do here today, and I don't have any in the aux tank. None of these airports have fuel. So, but anyway, 25. I can fly for at least an hour and a half before I need to go down to Eugene to pick up fuel. So, getting fuel pressure. A little bit more. And then yeah, well, if you're coming over here with the Kodiak, I don't mind getting fuel because I'd like to spend quite a bit of time here. So if that's at all something you can do, I'd like to have. I need 25 here, 25 there, no, 20 at least. So bring me 40, 50 gallons. That would be perfect. If you can give me 100, then I can take my belly tank as well. But that's not a big issue because I'm I'm just what is it? 15 minutes away from Eugene, but I'll take it, especially if it's cheap. All right, let's fire this up. Nobody's walking around here. There was another kid sitting at the bench over there. He may or may not be in the barbecue, or he is straight directly in front of the plane. So he's going to be carved to pieces. But that's completely fine, isn't it? Enter the prop. Come on. Oh, come on. Almost there. Ah. Damn it. Maybe it got mucked up by that kid in the propeller. I'm gonna start it lean again. There we go. Oil pressure in the green. Excellent. And avionics on. I'd say I don't think a barrel in itself is very heavy. Maybe 30, 40 pounds for 1 gallon, for one barrel. That's just my estimate based on how they look, so I have really no idea. Just gonna quickly have a look around here. There might be some barrels over here. Just have a this little scrapyard. So a thing like this is probably relatively thin material. Oh, you don't know how many gallons per barrel? Well, I have no idea about that. I don't even know much how much 1 gallon is. Should probably break out my E6B to calculate that, but I'm not going to. Not right now. I'm just going to pretend that a gallon is the same as 1 liter, just much more. Right. I'm still at the CTAF for Oakridge and looking at the barbecue of the kid here. It looks like it's slightly, ever so slightly favoring runway 9. So I'm gonna start with that as an assumption and go with that. One barrel equals 30.5 gallons and 6 pounds per gallon. That's about 200 pounds. So 1 barrel of gas would be the same as a human being. That sounds a little too little. Well, if the barrel is... Eugene offers paint services. Well, I know that there's a service center at the southwest part of the ramp there. Lawrence Air Service, Eugene Flight Service Center. Let's see what it has. It doesn't look like it... it just does rental and charter services. But they, it says that we have the experience and the equipment to handle everything from a Cessna 152 to a Boeing 747. So they could probably repaint your tail number. At least they can give you a crayon so you can scratch it into the plane if you want. So there is at least something. Atlantic is not useful for that, I think. Anyways, that is, as I say, neither here nor there. Okay, so I'm gonna spend some time in the left pattern for runway 9, and I'm gonna start with trying to rectify my 3-point landings. So warm up with my regular 3-point landings and see how that pans out. Maybe there's a windsock here as well. I don't see any, but I'll find out when I get in the air. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Echo Alpha is backtaxing, runway 9, Oakridge. I see a windsock over there, so that's going to be something I can use to verify. Remember a trick that I saw a video of where some tailwheel instructor said that one very clever thing to do when training to tailwheel students is that you can make them come down to the runway and almost land and just level the plane off in the just about to touchdown attitude and fly the whole length of the runway in that attitude. And so you can kind of feel how the plane works, or how the plane behaves at that speed. And I've thought about trying that, and so that might be a good thing to do today, especially with this slightly undulating runway, because that's going to be more of an exercise. Okay, we have a crosswind. That's fine. That's just what I need. Redmond does. Alright, where's Redmond? Redmond, Oregon. Or is that an FBO at Eugene? I don't remember Redmond Airport. Four barrels. So where are you flying from, David? And are you flying to Eugene or to Oakridge? You gonna join the riot at Redmond, rather at Oakridge? Yeah, excellent. Well, I'll be here. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha lining up, runway 9 will be ready to go in 40 seconds. Oakridge. The plane wants to go to the left because the tailwheel is unlocked. That's the beauty of this plane. Come on, there it is. You can see that it suddenly locked back in. Useful to check that before taking off, otherwise I would be on my way into the forest here. Alright, let's do the up, down, and I can see these up and down. Okay, all good. All good. And check the rudder. Should lean to the left. Yeah, it does with the right rudder, and the opposite with the left rudder. Excellent. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha. Taking off runway 9, left closed traffic. Oakridge. Alright. Engine is in the green. Take a little bit flat. flaps, and off we go. You can feel the left crosswind here, pushing the tail to the right. Plane slides to its tracks to the right. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left, crosswind runway 9, Oakridge. Gotta stop saying 09, that's redundant. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left, downwind, runway 9. Oakridge. So, taking the flaps all the way up so I can pretend to be coming from a cross-country cruise here. I'm gonna fly slightly tight patterns as far as this mountain goes to my right here. But I'm gonna fly past it and because if I turn inside of that mountain on the final here, the approach is going to be too tight, so I need to go all the way to the end in front of me here. Probably stand to be 100 feet higher. The elevation is 1600 something, isn't it? It's 1400, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm good. I may have forgotten to check my altimeter, so that might be why. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left base, runway 9, Oakridge. A bit more flap. Propeller, okay, so 3-point landing. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, final runway 9, touch and go. Or rather, it's going to be a stop and go, Oakridge. So, left crosswind, it's 6 knots according to the GPS, so right rudder to push that tail against the wind. So I'll try to flare slightly later than I'm usually doing it to see if I can just plop it right down instead of the slightly high flares I've been doing lately. Yeah, no, well, feels a little on the rough side. Just about to go and do a immediate takeoff here, but I want to do the full stop. And deck flaps halfway up. Reset trim. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha on the roll, runway 9. Remain in the pattern, Oakridge. think my altimeter is way off. Forgot to check that. I'm gonna do another stop and go and check the altimeter. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha, left crosswind runway 9, Oakridge. I think I saw 1600 feet when I was on the ground, so that means that my altimeter is 200 feet out, which means that I need to screw it back 0.1 inch, I think. Does that make sense? Or rather 0.2 inches. It's at 35 now, so if I turn it to 25 and 52 back to 3015-ish. This makes much more sense. This feels like 1,000 feet above ground. Maybe slightly less, but it's in the ballpark. There's no local altimeter up in the mountains here. Hello, Pietato. Welcome to the stream. We've got a Sudoku person stumbling into this stream here. He doesn't belong here, so feel free to bully him. He's a good friend of mine, but he's not a pilot. He's a pianist, Sudoku setter, and a good chess player. Slow down here. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left base, runway 9, full stop, Oakridge. I didn't call downwind, did I? I was too preoccupied with the altimeter. That's bad. See if that Spitfire is still sitting on the ramp, or is he taxiing around? Well, he should be calling already if he's doing that. Flaps down. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, final runway 9, stop and go, Oakridge. Again with the left crosswind here. Okay, so I was plopping it down relatively hard the last landing, so I'm gonna try again to see if I can do better. See if I can turn on the lights here before. Yep, good. Look, a beautiful shadow. Long landing. Come on. Nope, that was bad. Really bad. That was much worse than the first one. Okay, at least I get to check the altimeter. Yep, it's still 100 feet off. So I'm gonna wait a minute. Yeah, 1,400 feet, rather 1,393 feet. There it is. 3007-ish. Oops, very sorry. Yeah, TJK, I was wondering about that. What the hell does that mean? Is that some fancy shorthand that young people use that I don't understand? Okay, I'm gonna do another 3 points, see if I can redeem this one, and then I'm gonna transition to the wheel landings. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha on the roll, runway 9, close traffic left. Oakridge. fell onto your keyboard in the dark. Yeah, well, that's happened to the best of us. I guess. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left, crosswind runway 9. Oakridge. Alright, have a good night, while I have my good flight. Thanks for joining. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left, downwind, runway 9, for stop and go, Oakridge. Flaps up. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? There's something... I'm flaring too high, relatively consistently, and this one was even worse. And I'm running out of elevator. I could probably use more nose up trim, which will help slightly. But apart from that, maybe I could stand to give a shot of power at the end to try that. Slightly more. I need to do one or the other, otherwise I don't know what is doing the change. I'm gonna leave the trim where I usually have it and then give it a shot of power, because I don't really think a lot of trim will help that much. So I'm gonna try out a squeeze of power just as I'm about to settle it down. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left, base, runway 9, stop and go, Oakridge. And base to final turn, basically. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning final, runway 9, stop and go, Oakridge. Okay, trim is set where I usually have it. So I'm gonna combat the flare, or rather the sink with a shot of power. But not too much though, because otherwise I'll start floating away again. Really wobbly here. Nope. Too late. I might have to do one of those flyovers. I'm going to try that. Just get a feel of the plane. Maybe it's not possible to fly it at that angle with that sort of flap setting. I'm going to try that, and then transition. Run away. Excellent.
I think you flared a little early.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. Yes, that's what I feel too. I'm hearing you on the radio, actually. Spare wheels and parts. Well, I do have spare wheels. These things, let me see here. The 78 pounds in the third row here on each side, that's parts and magazines and ammunition and the machine gun that I got from a Barrow field. These two are Tundra tires, 60 pounds each. Then I have 133 pounds of, which is 100 kilos of, no, 60 kilos of spare parts and just my personal stuff. And that dog, that's 40 pounds now. So that's my loadout. See, quite an aft CG. Probably difficult to see on the screen here, but the CG, it's far behind, far back. So very different from some of your load-ups, which is closer to zero. I could use some more dog food. He hasn't grown much the last months, so he needs some more food. By the way, I have set up camera. I have this one, co-pilot camera, left wing, right wing, and a beautiful GoPro shot. And I have a back seat camera for both sides and a dog cam. This cam is from. Actually, it's supposed to be a little bit more back here. So it's kind of situated behind that seat here. That's what the dog sees. He's way down. You see, he's at ground level back here, whereas I'm sitting way up here. It's kind of a weird situation with this plane. Oakridge traffic, Beaver flight for Alpha on the roll, runway 9. One of the things that I'm a little bit concerned about is the fact that I'm running out of elevator. It's I usually have a little bit of spare oomph on the elevator, so I'm wondering if that's simply a loadout issue, or yeah, well, whatever it is. I'm not sure. So I'm going to try that low flyby with full landing configuration and see how the plane behaves. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left, crosswind runway 9. Oakridge. Cargo pod. Well, I treat these extra items on these planes as if they are at least possible to remove in the field. So if I have an equipment like that on the plane, like the belly tank, I think that I can probably kind of disassemble it in the field and put it in the plane. So I bring all those things with me. So if I take out the seats, for example, to have big things in the plane, I stow the seats in the plane, so I keep the weight of those things in the plane, just to make it more difficult for myself, to make the plane more heavy. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left downwind runway 9, remaining in the pattern. All right, so this is the low flyby, low approach. Okay, let's get cleaned up here. Some of these things may also change quite a bit with the fuel loading. For example, now I have 3/4 full rear tank, while the others are 1/4 full, which will change the behavior of the plane. And I have nothing in the aux tanks. I feel that the plane is actually easier to land when it's more or less fully loaded. Not really knowing why. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left base runway 9, low approach. Oakridge. So that Redmond airport that you're going to with the Kodiak, where is that? Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left, correction, on final, runway 9, low approach, Oakridge. Okay, set trim and all that, so let's try to hover above the runway, the whole length. These final turns are getting later and later, so I'm getting to come more over this hill here than I really want to. Okay, remember, not landing, just floating along the runway. This feels different. This is very different. I can feel it it's in ground effect now. This is very strange. This would be a good place to set it down. Oh, that was not intentional, but I got logged at least landing. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, upwind, runway 9, Oakridge. Okay, that feeling was very different. It feels like what I'm doing is my flare, whatever it is, it's too early so that I'm above the ground effect, so that I don't have the benefit of that. And then I sink through it, and then I bumped into the runway. And I also need more speed to be there. So when I'm above the ground effect, it seems like 60 or 55 is better speed to have. Now I was at 50 knots the whole runway length. So that's interesting. I'm tempted to try one more 3-point to just see if I can slide it into ground effect and then settle it. Oregon, northeast of Oakridge. Northeast of Oakridge. Oh yeah, that one, yeah. Okay, so that you basically bend. Jesus. That was a bad turn. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, left downwind runway 9, remaining in the pattern. Oakridge. Okay, so you're going to bend. That's so Redmond, that airport, I've been at that one maybe twice in my Oregon career. So that's why I forget about it. I usually go to Bend or any of the bush fields around it. Preferably Pilot Butte. Pilot Butte is such a beautiful airport. So I tend to stay away from the bigger airports. Okay, let's try to make this final turn ever so slightly tighter. I could slow down actually. That could be why I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's because I'm attacking the base turn in a too high speed. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, turning left base runway 9. Stop and go, Oakridge. Just gonna keep it around the bend here. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, final runway 9, Oakridge. Yeah, well, it's slightly better than the last one, but still not. I want to come slightly left of the runway because of this mountain here. The crosswind is pushing from the north, so it's pushing me to the right here. So that's one factor. You could probably do a slight bulb at the end of the downwind. Okay. So I'm gonna let the plane come a little bit further down into ground effect. and then settle it down, see how that works. So lower to the ground, basically. No, that was too early. Damn it. Didn't give that shot of power, though. If I did, I would be able to arrest the descent better. Now to hell with it. I'm gonna do one more. It was fun. Oakridge traffic Beaver 524 Alpha. On the roll, runway 9. Oakridge. At least there are no ground loops. Probably shouldn't have said that, because that's the kiss of death. Now I'm gonna ground loop. Nah, I don't think so. Right, everything else is as it should. Plenty of fuel. Engine is happily middle of the green. Oil pressure is nice. On the low side, but I'm starting to getting low on oil, as I'm used to. So maybe I'll take some oil from the guys coming in with their Kodiaks. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, left crosswind runway 9, Oakridge.
Traffic, Charlie Golf and over at taxi 09, but we'll be taxiing on grass, so no factor for the incoming traffic.
Roger. Are you still in the Spitfire?
Affirmative.
Yeah, your Super Cub is in Canada?
Say that again?
Your Super Cub is in Canada.
It's in south of Canada. It's not in Canada, it's in Idaho.
Roger. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, left downwind runway 9, Oakridge. What I'm going to do now, when I get to the end of the downwind leg, I'm going to turn slightly right to widen out that base turn, so I can come in, so I can at least combat some of that crosswind that is pushing me to the south here. Widening out a little bit here. Not that it really helps much, but I'll try it. Flappage. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, turning left base, runway 9, Oakridge. Okay, so I'll allow myself slightly more power on this one, just to stabilize myself in the ground effect, to see if that can let me settle more gracefully. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to Alpha, turning final, runway 9, Oakridge. Stop and go. That's better, much better. Still getting blown to the south, but at least I have some margin to stop it while I'm rolling out on final here. Got the Spitfire in sight. Okay, a little shot of power, then round off in ground effect to see if that works. floating like crazy now, though. Ah, too high. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Well, it's needs some developing. At least I'm slow enough to be able to 3-point it, so I'm not bouncing up again. It's finished flying when I land it, so I can at least do that. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for a Alpha. On the roll, runway 9, Oakridge. See if I can do a 3-point takeoff. Much easier. I could see the plane started leaving the ground at maybe 45, and I didn't really pull hard, so that means that the plane is capable of flying out of ground effect, or into ground effect at least, around 45. So that means if I can do the reverse when landing, it will be even slower than I am now and have soft touchdown. So it's there is room for it. I just don't know how to transition into it when landing. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, left base, correction, left crosswind, runway 9, Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Echo, parking runway 09.
He's on the roll. Really fast. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha. Left downwind, runway 9, Oakridge.
Traffic.
Traffic. Like a cannon. Shot out of there. Flaps up.
Traffic, Kodiak 25 Delta Echo, passing the Crady Springs to the east at 5,100, descending for left traffic, runway 09, Oakridge.
How about that?
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf cover our left crosswind 09.
It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out with a Spitfire, the pattern with the Beaver. The speed is not very... Well, I've flown a Spitfire in prepared back in the days, and with flaps down it could be very slow, but then you would overheat it because it's, you know, the flaps is basically a barn door, 90 or 85 degrees or something. Really weird stuff. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, left base, runway 9, Oakridge. I didn't do my widen out of the turn, so I'm going to be slightly steeper in the turn right now. That's going to work out. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha, final runway 9, stop and go, Oakridge. So the wind, the crosswind is much higher up here than it is down at the runway. It's at 6-7 knots right now, but it's getting down to 2-3 knots or something above the runway, so it's not as bad as it seems up here. Okay, so slightly more power, and I'm gonna actually aim to touch down at the middle of the runway. And possibly do a touch and go instead of a full stop.
Traffic, Kodiak 25 Delta Echo, about 7 miles out to the east. They're coming in on a left at downwind, so runway 09. Okay.
So that's going to give me time to try out the ground effect here.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Cobra Romeo, turn in base 09.
Oh, that was too much. Close. That was ugly, but it was just about to be a good one. I'm gonna be rolling. On the roll at Oakridge, Beaver 5 for That was a weird call. Let's get the flaps up. I was just about to do it there. I'm gonna try it again. Maybe wheel landings is for a different session. So I'm thinking that I'm on to something here. I was giving maybe 5% too much power at the round out in ground effect there.
Going around.
Oakridge traffic, Kodiak 2 Delta Echo, entering left downwind 09.
Traffic.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha is on left crosswind. Runway 9 has the Kodiak in sight, and I will be widening out my crosswind here to come in behind you. Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf, cover over my own initial climb. We have the traffic on crosswind in sight.
Oakridge traffic, Caravan 682 Tango Foxtrot is 4 miles to the east, joining a left downwind runway 09, Oakridge.
No.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf, cover over my turning left crosswind 09.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha is on left downwind runway 9, number 2, Oakridge. So let's see the Kodiak directly in front of me. I'm going to slow down because it looks like I'm actually catching up with him. That's unseemly.
If anybody is flying explain cloud, there is fog on the final for 09.
I'm on 12 and it's clear. Oakridge Kodiak 2 Delta Kilo, yeah, Delta Echo, turning left base for 1.
Traffic.
Maybe the fog you're seeing is the smoke I leave behind from taking off or touching it down.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf, cover over Romeo downwind 09. We have the traffic in base in sight.
Oakridge traffic, Caravan 2 Tango Fox is left downwind behind Charlie Bravo Romeo, Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha turning left base to final runway 9. Stop and go, Oakridge. Where is that Kodiak?
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf, cover over Romeo, turning base 09.
I see he's off the runway now. Okay, let's try this again. See if I can.
Oakridge traffic, Kodiak 2 Delta Q Echo is clear of 09, pulling over the ramp.
Oh, come on.
Traffic, Caravan 2 Tango Foxtrot, turning
That's
a
better.
left base runway
Much
09,
better.
Oakridge.
Let's just go here. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha on the roll, runway 9. Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf, cover over Romeo, going around. Stay on the inactive side, we have the traffic on initial climb in sight.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 54 Alpha. I can extend my upwind a little bit so you can go inside here. Oakridge.
No problem, this is what you have to do.
So what are you doing then?
I'm circle on the inactive side and join the downwind at midfield.
Roger. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to work on for turning left, crosswind, runway 9. Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Caravan 2 Tango Fox is going missed.
That hill makes it really difficult to get down, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like a right traffic would probably be easier.
I was in full slip half the way down and then still couldn't get slower than 90 knots. And so if it wasn't for the turboprop and staying in a slip as I landed, I wouldn't have stopped, but I got her down. Probably had her go from
How quick they can paint? I'm sure they are
the runway. They're probably within 200 or 300.
pretty quick. It's just your call sign, isn't it?
Well, I've noticed I've got a dependency problem, so I don't have a runway. I'm going to be landing on dirt.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo over at the runway, join in mid downwind 09.
Oakridge traffic, Caravan 2 Tango Fox is left, crosswind, turning downwind, runway 09.
Beaver 4 Echo Alpha is on midfield right, left midfield, Jesus Christ, left downwind, runway 9. So that's Spitfire. You better call which side of the runway you're on, Oakridge. If you're saying mid downwind, I don't know which side you're talking about.
Well, obviously it's doing the same pattern, but I see you, so I let you go. So you're number 1, I'm number 2.
Alright, good.
He was crossing midfield for left downwind to answer your question, but I was watching him go over.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to Alpha, left, left base, runway 9. Will be stop and go. Actually, I will do low approach. Oakridge. Tight turn here. I think I'm way too much south now.
Caravan 2 Tango Fox about to start turn to base leg behind the Beaver. Oakridge.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of a conflict. The Spitfire, the Caravan.
Yeah, the Spitfire passed you on your left, closer to the runway than you were. It was kind of entertaining to watch from the ground.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to Alpha, short final, runway 9 will be doing a low approach. Oakridge.
Traffic on downwind, where are you exactly?
Turning final 09, reducing to minimum approach speed. Oakridge.
Traffic on downwind, where are you?
There isn't any traffic on downwind currently.
Okay, where are you now?
They're both on final.
Roger, Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo, turn in base 09.
Spitfire speed is what gets us in trouble with the patterns here.
Okay, so 50 knots. That's a very, very good speed for this.
Barrels of fuel over here for whoever needs it near the quant.
Yeah, I need it. I'm doing full stop on the next one. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to work off upwind, runway 9. Oakridge. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 to Fork Alpha, left crosswind, runway 9, Oakridge. Did they make it down here? You see the Caravan on the runway?
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo, final 09.
If anyone needs some spare tyres or other general spares, I've got some in the back.
Oakridge traffic Beaver 5 Alpha left downwind runway 9, Oakridge. So he's still on the runway, the Spitfire is on final. I don't see the Spitfire though, so is he on a
I think your
long?
model of a Texan or something like that.
Ah, there he is. So that's not going to be a conflict. Excellent. So this is going to be the one. Now I'm going to do the good landing. Which is to say, now I'm going to do the ground loop. It's all contradictions. Yeah. But I have a good feeling about this ground loop.
Manually fuel hobby field 77 Sierra is looking rather cheap at the moment.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Bravo Maule on initial climb 09.
Oakridge traffic Beaver 5 Alpha, left base to final runway 9, full stop, Oakridge. That's better. We've got 8 knots crosswind, so the crosswind is increasing up here, but it feels like it's still relatively weak down low here. But I still need to contend with it up here, though. So that Spitfire did a touch and go, it seems, so he's back in the pattern. So he's probably on final now. With his speed. Okay, let's try this ground effect thing again.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo, turning base 27.
Yeah, that's better. Buddha. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 Alpha is rolling to the end, runway 9, Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo on final 27, but we don't have the runway in sight, so we may be going around.
27, alright. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 Alpha is clear, runway 9, Oakridge. So, looks like he did a teardrop. Lights off. I'm gonna park up beside those two. Well, can I fit in here? No, I can't. I'm gonna shove the plane into the dirt next to the turnoff here. Here comes the Spitfire. Doing his air show. So Delta Alpha 22, are you also on your way in here?
Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo, base 27.
Well, this intense barbecue here is a good indication of where the wind is going.
Charlie Golf Echo Bravo Romeo, final 27.
Oy vey. Is that that's gonna be final, it seems. I think he crashed, didn't he?
Utah?
He was on short final 27 and he disappeared into the mountain here. Can't even see the carcass of the plane. What, is he Houdini or what? What's happening? Huh. Looked like he went like this. And I cannot see him on the map anymore, so yeah, looking at the picture of the Caravan Delta, I think it looks good. It's very blue. It's as blue as they get. That Kodiak is a really beautiful airplane. Especially that red livery is gorgeous. Back on stream, welcome. That was interesting and fun little exercise with all those different planes in the pattern. And seems like CG died. Well, yeah. Okay, so your is that your first flight with the Kodiak on X-Plane 12? Well, I hope you get your PilotEdge thing to work, Delta Alpha 22. Seems like your time zone is slightly different than mine. It's 2 in the night here in Norway, which is not too bad. I've had worse, but I can notice that I'm probably not going to be flying very good for if I stay for more than an hour. But I think I will take some of that fuel that I got and go over for a quick pattern or two at Aubrey Mountain, just to get a feel for how that works, and then come back here and do full stop here back at Oakridge again. Yeah, I was also thinking about that, David, that you're very heavily loaded, and that's one of the beauties of a good flight sim, is that if it's modeled correctly, it will feel different. I've done a few kind of missions in the Beaver when it's really heavily loaded and kind of out of balance as far as I'm used to. And that is always interesting to see how the plane behaves. One hour ahead of PST. So that means you're at 6 o'clock. So that's not too shabby for a Saturday evening. So David, how much fuel did you end up bringing? And do you know how much fuel Thomas brought? Alright, so you have 125 gallons or so. And are you going to use any of that, or is that just for me? Or is it for someone else? Maybe CD needs, or someone else? CG, yeah. The last I saw of you, I saw you coming in here towards, and then you disappeared behind this ridge here. What I can imagine your sight picture was something like this. This is what I imagine you were seeing. So the question, though, of course, is what will Juan Brown at Blanco Lirio find out about your crash? Because he's gonna be right up here investigating you right now. You if you know what I mean. He's gonna try to find out what happened. So explain. It was such a bad crash. The whole simulator crashed. That's lovely. All right, 126 gallons. Let me just have a quick look and see how much that actually pans out to be. Oh, you got an IMC. Oh, interesting. That's didn't cross my mind that you could be an IMC right now. 126 gallons. So let me just do this. Now wait a minute. I'm gonna leave whatever fuel I have now, and then fill up when I'm ready to depart from here, because I'm not gonna change the way the plane behaves now because I've been practicing. So I'm gonna leave it as it is and take it later. All right. I'm going over to Aubrey Mountain for a couple of touch and goes, and then come back here. Actually, I'm gonna do full stops because that's the way that airport is best treated. Let's see, how's the barbecue doing? Is it still? Looks like the smoke is actually going slightly down the runway here. Well, no rush for my sake. I'm gonna be around. Yeah, I have to back taxi. Oakridge traffic Beaver Fight for Alpha is going to back taxi runway 9 to midfield Oakridge. With this light loading that I have now, I'm not going to need the whole runway. Just going to turn around here, see that there's no Spitfires coming barreling in here. All clear. Very good. So we don't have a Kodiak CSL, which is a shame, because it's distinctly different in what it looks like from the Epic that it's actually modeled as right now. So there's quite a bit of work actually to be done with this. I think probably there's a lot of airplanes in that CSL folder, and it's probably more the programming of that thing that needs to be worked on. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha is lining up runway 9 midfield. Oakridge. It's probably not even midfield. No, it is not. But it's where I took off from when I did the pattern. Quick mag check here. All good. Lights are on. Trim set. Flaps down. Or set. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha taking off runway 9. Straight out departure over to Aubrey Mountain. Oakridge. Flying over the final resting place of CG. Right, Aubrey Mountain is runway. Come on. 1230. It's 30. The Oakridge Airport is quite interesting in that it has a little, I think it's a road or something, or just a little track running across it at the last third of the runway, which is kind of a natural 1,000-foot mark. So if you can land very early and stop before that road crosses over, you have landed within 1,000 feet. So it's a very good exercise for training. And around the corner here is a very large dam. So I'm on a left downwind-ish for the runway now. So I'm going to take it into the valley here and then turn base here. Okay, it's going to be a full stop. It's been a long time since I was back at this airport. So may have to do a low approach just to get a feel for the runway here. Now it's going very slowly because I'm flying into the wind. So I'm going to get a right crosswind now. This one is also tricky because there's a clump of trees right on the final, so you have to dive. You cannot use the whole runway. You could probably squeeze in right next to them if you have a small enough aircraft, or if you're agile enough. But I'm just gonna go straight above them. here's that road that I was talking about. So almost, not quite, but good for a first try. So we're gonna taxi back here. This airport is the first in the Oregon ABC challenge. Come on, this tail wheel didn't lock. That's why I'm rolling away here. Let's see if I can. Come on! Jesus Christ, there it is. The wind is also pushing me around here, but that's just partly what it is. As I said, this airport is the first one in the Oregon ABC challenge. So here it is, Oregon. Aubrey Mountain. Probably not the best to taxi the airplane like this. So I'm just gonna slow down a little bit and have a look around. So one of the little Easter eggs here is that we have the state of Oregon flag here, of course, which makes sense, and a guy, you know, fixing on his cub. And over here, the main house, we have United States flag and the Norwegian flag, which is because I'm one of the creators of this challenge. And the other guy, Gareth, who created all of these fields, he has his house up here, the South African flag. And he is doing his braai, which is the South African barbecue. Oh, you're back, CG. Excellent. So might have been a weird thing that was remaining from when you landed the first time then. That you could have kind of recycled or updated the weather. Okay, let's try this again and see if I can... I've landed several times where I've stopped well before that road, so I know I can do it. It's just a matter of just putting the plane down. Now I was trying for this ground effect. Okay, so what I wanted to do this time, I'm going to try to set it down earlier, sacrifice a little bit of the touchdown, the softness of the touchdown, for a firm right down. That's my intent. I'm gonna start taking fuel from the center tank now, so I don't forget, because the rear tank is the smaller one of the bunch. The front and the center tank are both 35 gallons. The rear is 25, so that it drains much faster, which is why when I've run a tank dry, it's usually the rear tank. Alright, let's go. Take off. It shoots like a rocket. And that's Oakridge over there. Be careful with these turns in the slow speed to at least unload the wings a little bit. Because if you do a slow turn like that and then pull back, then you're in for a rough tumble down to the ground. This is kind of a different pattern because you can fly it small enough that you really don't have to clean up from the departure as much. Oakridge is big enough to be able to fly a normal sized pattern, whereas this one, it's probably possible here as well, but it kind of invites to a really tight pattern. terrain warnings here on the GPS here. It looks like that's the runway, but it is not. It's that one. It's very deceiving. I always get confused by that, even though I know better. It kind of grabs your attention. Okay, I'm getting a bit of a sink here. Still have a wind from the north here, so right crosswind. Okay, so sacrifice a little bit of the touchdown for a firmer and a more positive touchdown at an earlier point. So no float fest. Oh, going around. That was just barely about to be a ground loop. And I have a theory about that. Just clean up the plane first. So, what happens when I get, like I did now, a bit of a crooked touchdown on one of the main wheels instead of a 3-point, is that the plane will rock slightly, and as I was talking about on the pre-flight, the tail comes down, which relieves pressure from the main wheels, which makes them kind of less, they don't have as much contact, and the plane will start getting up again. So whatever sideways motion I have will be exaggerated because I don't have any contact with the ground, or at least not very firm contact with the ground. If I have ever so slightly little sideways motion, that will be that will grow into a go around. Oh, not into go around, into a ground loop, which should be a go around if spotted early. I've seen so many of those landings where that I had now touchdowns that I didn't have the I didn't know to go around. I just fought with it and then experienced one ground loop after another. So let's try that again. This turned into a really weird pattern, really high up and very close. Yeah, this plane is, the Beaver is not that good at side slipping. I feel it's, there's not much to gain from it, it feels like. You can see the, whatever it is down there. So let's see if I can do this again. Or, I'm not gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it better this time. Okay, I'm slower, so I need a good shot of power, which I'm gonna give it now, and then take it away. That's better. So now I stopped about this time, or about the height of the garage here, which is 700 or 800 feet or something like that. That's much better, and that's over trees. Let's see here. That's that. So that's the Maule I'm seeing here. It's looking more like a dog that is scratching its ass on the ground. But what do I know? I think I'm content with that. I'm gonna do one pattern the other way around. Because the approach over this ridge here is very neat. It's much easier because you can do you can kind of fly directly into the runway, so you don't have to contend with any obstacles. So I'm gonna taxi over to the road there and turn around and take off the other way, against the hill and the trees and all of that. Just gonna do a slight turn here to check that there are no crazy Spitfires or anything like that coming in here. Nope, very good. That Maule is, look, maybe he's doing a teardrop to come back. If he is not, well, then he's now, because I put that in his mind. So let's roll. Hold it on and then force it up. Not the best direction to take off, granted. But it can do it. Especially if you do the whole runway. But I wouldn't want to try that in Cessna 172, for example. It can land easily both ways, but taking off with that 180 horsepower natural aspirated engine, that's not good, especially in a warm place like this now. It's going to be a pretty rough experience. Yeah, looks like he's back on the ground. Or did he... No, he's behind me. Go across the valley here to the road. Use that as a base. I'm not quite sure how deep I need to go into the valley here. I think it's right over my shoulder here, but no, that's good. A little bit more flaps. The trick here, though, is that there is a lip of the runway that is kind of curving downwards in the terrain here. So you don't want to land too early, because then you can hit that and then you're going to be in all kinds of pain. Yeah, this was a horrific approach. Let's see if I can do that three-point thing here. Nope, not quite, but it was kind of decent. But that one, however, was not so decent. That was actually quite bad. I was not able to stop. Just sliding away here. Jesus. That needs to be redeemed. I had to steer away from the trees here. Where's that Maule? Is he still up here? Oh, he's way above me here. I'm just gonna have a look what he's doing. So the approach was too high, and the landing was late. The touchdown was just boring average, but the rollout was kind of weird. I wasn't able to get the plane settled and really take the landing. That looks like we could go around.
Oakridge State, Charlie Alpha Bravo, we have taken position on the 27.
CG is back. So I'm gonna depart straight out here and do a teardrop and come back in and fix that landing. I'm gonna land early. Leave it in takeoff flaps, which you see I'm already up here. Headset is just about to die now, I think. So, the Maule is on a right crosswind, and I'm about to turn my teardrop to come back in, so I'm gonna be just in front of him, I think. Well, I cannot see him anyway. Okay, let's see what how this pans out. That is better. Yeah, I have a bit of a tailwind now. That's probably why. Probably why I felt like I was pushed down the runway here on the previous landing. So I'm gonna go to the end here and get off the whatever it is as a runway and have a look at what the Maule is doing. There he is. Looks like he's better set up now for landing, if that's what he intends to do. He's coming in hot. That shouldn't be a problem with that plane. It's very capable.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Buffet covered over Mountain, right crosswind.
Well, it's a good thing that the field here is nicely plowed.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie Buffet covered over right now in 27.
Okay, let's depart and go over to Oakridge and keep good old CD company.
It's been a while since I did that approach. It's a lot shorter approach than the other one.
You probably have a tailwind as well then.
Yeah, I did not want to pull out. I had to pull her back and install her.
CG is at runway 27.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie will cover over turning base 27.
Okay. I'm gonna go come in on the north side of the airport and drop in on left downwind runway 27. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha is 4 miles east, climbing through 2200. We'll be flying over midfield to join left downwind runway 27 full stop Oakridge. Okay, let's power back here.
Oakridge traffic, Charlie will cover over find out 27.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 524 Alpha has the Spitfire in sight. Oakridge. See if he enters the same
Traffic, Maule 25 Delta Echo
hole.
is behind Beaver, looking for the
Looks at least better. Well, Oakridge traffic Beaver 5 for Alpha is crossing midfield at 2,400, entering left downwind runway 27, full stop. Good landing, CG, Oakridge. And to make things exciting, here's why I simulate engine out. So, engine died. So what?
Traffic Charlie Golf Cobra runway, clear the runway, will be taxiing back to 27.
Go find pitch. Should give me enough time to turn in and land. Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, left base runway 27, Oakridge. So now the plane glides nicely. And he's in the grass with his Spitfire, so I can land. Might have to.
Traffic, Maule 2 Pilot Echoes on left downwind.
Yep.
I have the base traffic in place. So,
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha, short final 27, full stop, Oakridge.
Oakridge traffic, Maule 25 Delta Echo is left base 27. So,
Yeah.
Oakridge traffic, Maule 25 Delta Echo, turning final 27. Okay.
Oakridge traffic, Beaver 5 for Alpha is clear of 27 to the right into the grass behind the Spitfire. Oakridge. So that was kind of a almost like a wheel landing, but it was sufficiently slow that I was able to get the tail down and get in control. But yeah, still not good enough. Okay, this wind, come on, don't do me like that. Tail is unlocked. Okay, I'm gonna do a full circle then. Victory lap. Come on. Did I blow a tire here or something? Why am I going to the left all the time? Yeah, just go ahead. I'm busy describing circles here.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to continue around or...
Yeah, I'm having difficulty getting the tail wheel to lock properly here, so I'm just circling.
Alright, Oakridge, Maule 2 Pilot Echo is clear of runway, taxiing back on grass. Oh.
Now I have it. The wonders of tailwheel. I love it. I was actually watching Gareth, the creator of all these airports, struggle with an airport in where was that? I think it was close to Reno, where the wind was really howling. And he was just not able to get the plane to stop rolling around. So he spent 5 minutes taxiing 1,000 feet because his plane was going like this. That was hilarious. And it was not for his fault. It was just the wind was grabbing his plane just right, so that he was not able to control it. And I was just lucky enough to be able to crawl back into the ramp. I may have been heavier loaded, so that might have been why. All right. thanks for joining me, and for the fuel that I'm gonna take tomorrow. Never has this airport been so busy, I guess.
This was fun.
Excellent. Did you happen to stream your flight with a Spitfire?
I think at least part of it, I don't know which part though.
If you stream the part with the crash, make a little clip out of it.
Okay, if I have it, but I have some clips with your landings, I think.
Well, I guess the kid that they tossed on the barbecue, he's been spit roasted. He's all good now, so I'm gonna go eat. Oh, did I say that on frequency? Lovely. Alright, shutting down. Yeah, now I really need fuel here. I'm not even I don't really have VFR. Well, just barely, maybe. That's, what is that, 10 gallons? Maybe 5. And this is... Yeah, I have a shade under 20 gallons, maybe 18, 17 gallons. That's 45 minutes on very, very conservative cruise setting. So that's just barely illegal. Which is perfect. So I love how that plane looks. It's I wonder if that's a good plane. What is it? Navion. Yeah, I'm gonna check out that SimHeaven thing. If that's as good as it seemed, I think in total, when it gets updated with good good libraries, as you said, it seems like it could be like a True Earth light if you have good ortho scenery beneath it. You can kind of get 95% on the way, and that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. As long as I can get my antennas and those VFR things, then I'm happy. See some buildings on some runnings. Okay, well. Yeah. He's back out flying. We may have to do comparison of some of the Orbex sceneries, just to see how well they compare, just to see how if we can survive without True Earth. Yeah, I'm gonna hold out a little bit more because if they also gonna update the libraries, then I'll wait. But I'll buy it for sure. It's I have no problem with that. Actually, I think I have SimHeaven for use outside in X111 right now, but that's an older version. Well, okay, well, I'll buy it if it's for free. I'll pay exactly what they desire then. By the way, I'm wondering, when you are flying your Beaver, do you shut down the turn coordinator, the electric turn coordinator? I just leave it on for some reason. I've just always done that. Okay. Maybe that's why I do it as well. Yeah, that thing there. No, that was okay, so at least I didn't burst any tires, but they are good and ready to be changed out soon. So let's see here. Do we have a Spitfire around here? Or did he leave the pattern? Let me just cheat here. Put a traffic on. Well, he's on final for. Or he's 2,000 feet above me here. On. No, he's on a long final. That's where he is. The Spitfire. He is. There he is. I'm gonna watch him come in and land, and then I'm gonna log off. If he is actually coming to land. Looks very much like it. So how's the barbecue coming along? He looks miserable. There are some of these human figures that you can use for objects in the sim when you're creating airports. Some of them are really, really bad. Look like monsters. He's really, really coming in fast here. Oh! You have red boxes instead. Now, I would be confused by that as well. Red boxes doing... yeah. Maybe you have an outdated version of the library, so you're not getting an error message, but you're getting a placeholder or something. So I'd check that out. Anyways, CG, I will leave you to enjoy the evening at Oakridge, and I will go have a barbecue and then go to bed. It's now almost 3 in the night here. get of you all to watch and join in the pattern. That was real hilarious with all those planes in her pattern.
Sunny side trap.
Sunny side. No, that was weird. Anyway, thanks for joining, and ta-ta.